You done messed up, NFL. You riled up the wrong team by picking on the wrong player. The Bo Nix pile-on is at its peak here, and I'm sick of it. It almost makes me not even want to be on the internet right now. In this video, we're breaking down why the performance of Bo Nix on Sunday was not all that bad and why a massive game is incoming for the Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts. A key shutdown item for our Broncos defense going up against them, and some more news around the NFL. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me in the algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, would you smash that like and subscribe button? So if you've been on Twitter at all over the last couple of days, you have just seen the pile-on hate for Bo Nix just at an all-time high here, seeing just saying like a horrific season debut for Bo Nix, and just seeing like really biased, crazy stats being thrown out there. One of the reasons Bo Nix was ranked so low, he wasn't given any big-time throws in this game. And if you watched the Broncos game, I feel like this pass here from Bo Nix to Courtland Sutton, I don't know how else you would describe this other than like, hey, this was a big-time throw. He's not that open, and you just see a gorgeous go up and get that jump ball right there for Bo Nix, and yet inexplicably not getting any credit for that. And you just see this pile on continue from tweet after tweet here. Just seeing Dove Kleeman here come out and say, what a horrendous game from Bo Nix. He was the worst ranked quarterback this week. 4 turnover-worthy plays, no big-time throws on 43 dropbacks, playing the Titans. And then I'm not going to subject you to this much, but just seeing then that he also had the worst efficiency here with this. And all of this piling on is absolutely ridiculous on a number of cases here. So the first thing here is they played the Titans, like this idea here that the Titans were bad, right? So seeing here that the Titans defense isn't really anything to write home about. Well, all you got to remember here is that last year the Tennessee Titans had the number 2 defense and the number 2 passing defense in the NFL. And they did that all without L'Jarius Sneed, their best corner, who's like a top 10 corner in football when he's healthy. He only played in 4 full games last season. So they were a number 2 defense without their number 1 corner. So that is a fantastic defense. And so Bo Nix not having his greatest day, I admit, it wasn't an awesome day. I'm not like getting a Bo Nix tattoo after that game, but there is so much that goes into it. First off, first point, the Tennessee Titans defense is way better than people give them credit for. And if you don't admit that, you are just totally trying to justify your opinion pre-draft here. And that's what all of these guys are doing. And it drives me bonkers here. In addition to it, Sean Payton came out and said, the first thing he said when he left that game is, I need to do better. That was one of the worst games I've ever called in my career, essentially. I'm paraphrasing. But just seeing that the Broncos had 14 passes and 3 rushes in the first 17 plays, even Troy Rank coming out and being like, that's just not a recipe to succeed. And we know that the play action pass doesn't work if you don't actually have a fake, and the Broncos did try the play action pass multiple times, and the Tennessee Titans knew there was nothing happening there. So even with all of that, you take a look, there were some cool stats on here that are worth noting, that even though Bo Nix was not set up by his coach and was playing a tough defense and all of that, you still see that he is ranking above dudes like Josh Allen and JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams and even Lamar Jackson when it comes to the accuracy of his throws. And then we've got to really just take a look at a couple of those interceptions, and I think it's just super important to look at these. So first off, here is this nice little pump fake there. He sets his feet, gorgeous throw there to Courtland Sutton. Absolutely love that. But next thing here is take a look at this video. This is one of his interceptions, and I think this is so important. And I don't want to throw Marvin Mims under the bus. This could have been groin issue related. I don't know what this is, but when I got to go with Benny and watch Benny Fowler do a film breakdown, my mind was just absolutely blown when it comes to how many times interceptions are actually the other wide receiver's fault for not clearing out the zone. And that is exactly what happened here. The Tennessee Titans were in zone coverage 91% of the time against the Denver Broncos. Watch Marvin Mims pull up here and not run full speed. So when Benny Fowler did his film breakdown last year, there was another interception that was actually Troy Franklin's fault. He wasn't targeted on it, but you see him jogging his route when his job is to sprint like all get out and clear out that zone for the receiver coming behind it. And I think that is exactly what happened here. Bo Nix was expecting Marvin Mims with the insane speed to take this next defender here off. So watch this right here. Here comes Marvin Mims. He's up here. His job is to get him out of that zone, right? Marvin Mims, if he's going full speed, he gets this guy back, and Courtland Sutton is wide open, but you'll see here that Marvin Mims pulls up on it when it shows this other route, and that's so I think Marvin Mims, I love him to absolute death, but I think even some of Bo Nix's turnovers were not his fault. Obviously, the fumble that Jeffrey Simmons caused on that play was not fantastic, but we know that Bo Nix hasn't fumbled the football in 4 some years, and so Bo Nix is not a fumbler of the ball, and I'm not worried. And so here's the deal that I want everyone to remember, that I am not going through and cherry picking how bad guys like Ashton Genty played or how bad guys like Omarion Hampton played, because I know that is one game, and I am so sick of the national media and even some like bandwagon Broncos fans cherry picking one single game. Instead of like picking one game against the number 2 pass defense in football last season, let's take a look at the totality of how has Bo Nix played week 5 on, as defense has had bye weeks and time to prep for him. Week 5 on, Bo Nix had the 4th best passer rating in the entire NFL, and that is what we hang our hat on, not just one performance. And so all of that just makes me know that the Denver Broncos are going to come out with a fire lit underneath of them against the Indianapolis Colts. We see Courtland Sutton essentially come out and say that he told Bo Nix, hey man, you're playing like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You got to know it's not on your shoulders. It's on all of ours. And so you're seeing all you need to look at is like Sean Payton jump on the sword, seeing Hufanga get up even after that performance wearing a Bo Nix t-shirt. This team still believes in this quarterback, and you should, because the results from last year speak for themselves. Bo Nix is a fantastic quarterback. We are bouncing back from this, and it is going to be phenomenal. Now, to bounce back from it, one thing that we absolutely need to shut down is this guy right here, Tyler Warren. He was a guy that had he still been available when the Broncos had a chance to pick him, I would have loved me some Tyler Warren. He is a football playing Jesse and just an absolute stud. If we take a look at just even like his first game here with the Indianapolis Colts, some really cool stuff on display here and really on pace to just blow out records set by Brock Bowers last year. Just his ability to catch all over the place, and the way that the Indianapolis Colts used him was very innovative and crazy, that he was lining up in the backfield, he was in the slot, he was out wide. And so I think the Broncos are actually in a position here where if they can shut down Tyler Warren, I feel very confident we win this game, because I'm expecting a Bo Nix resurgence. I'm expecting the Denver Broncos to run the ball like crazy. We know that the Miami Dolphins were averaging something like 6 yards a carry in that game and had to get away from it because they were down so big because of turnovers. So I know we're going to run the ball effectively against this team. And so really it's going to come down to, can we stop Tyler Warren? And again, they line him up all over the place, and he was feasting every single place he was. When we drafted Jahdae Barron, one of the things all of us said was, I think Jahdae Barron is the Brock Bowers stopper, and it might be too early in the season to be relying on him for that, but I'm hoping that Jahdae Barron shuts down Tyler Warren in this game. And if not him, there are some others who I think are very in candidates for that. And the first one would be Riley Moss, who is showing up here on this list as one of the guys who people tried to pick on the most last week and who was the most successful. So even though he was targeted 9 times, which is a pretty wild stat, he only gave up 4 catches, and you're looking here like Trent McDuffie, that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to give the bag to this offseason, was targeted 8 times for 4. So Riley Moss was even better. And part of the reason they had to pick on Riley Moss is because Pat Surtain, for the several times in his career here where he was only targeted once and broke up that pass, Pat Surtain just played like a absolute maniac in that game, not allowing a catch for the nearest defender on 34 coverage snaps for the 8th time in his career. Just a wild stat. So this is going to be a phenomenal game against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. I got a video coming up with a Colts creator where I ask him about the mismatches and how that team has changed since the last time the Broncos played them last year. So that's going to be dropping either tomorrow or Saturday. Then we're driving out to the game. But will you let me know in the comments, what is your final score prediction for this Broncos versus Colts game? I will give my final score prediction when we break down the Indianapolis Colts. But pump the brakes on the Bo Nix slander. We saw over a massive sample size last season that Bo Nix is good. Sean Payton came out and told all of his friends that Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL over the next several years. So are you going to let one game define what you think of him, or your head coach who put his neck out on the line saying Bo Nix is going to be a phenomenal quarterback for a long time? So Broncos country, we still believe. I got to get that back by Sunday for sure.